Well, good morning, guys. It's Pastor Andy. Today is March the 1st, and we're going to be looking in Psalm chapter 30 together. Psalm chapter 30 is a really neat chapter because it goes through David's life when he had sinned, and this is God's forgiveness of David's sin. So there's a big transition that happens in the middle of this chapter. Verse number 5 says, "Weeping may last through the night, but joy comes with the morning." I love that line. It's in several songs, and it's something that many times in difficulties and troubles and trials we can grasp onto, that yes, there is a time of weeping, but it doesn't last forever. It's just for the night. It's just for a little while. It's just for while it's dark. But be sure joy is coming in the morning. And Jesus doesn't just take our joy and replace our sorrow and replace it with joy. He transforms our sorrow into joy, which means he doesn't just take away that sorrow, but he uses that sorrow to turn into something that is special, something that can bring us joy. He brings good out of all things. Then he says down in verse 11, David says, "You have turned my mourning into joyful dancing." And man, that is something that only God can do, is to take our troubles, to take our problems, to take our mourning and turn it into a time of rejoicing, a time of dancing, a time of celebration. The last part of verse 11 says, "You have taken away my clothes of mourning and clothed me with joy." And in the Bible, whenever you see a dramatic life change, many times you'll see that marked by a change of clothes. So here we've got David saying, this was such a huge transition, a huge change in my life, that God, you have taken away my clothes of mourning, my clothes that I would mourn in, the thing that I was wearing while I was mourning, whether that's my life, whatever it is. God, you have taken that time, that period of mourning, and you have clothed me now with joy. Joy. Joy is the middle name of my oldest daughter, Morgan Joy. I love that name. I love that word because joy is something that comes from the inside out. Circumstances can change, and my happiness can change because of the happenings around me. But joy comes from the Lord. He gives us something that can supersede all of the outside surroundings, all the outside happenings, all the outside circumstances that are going on. That's why you can rejoice even in a trial, because joy, rejoicing, joy comes from inside. So I can rejoice because of the joy inside of me, even in a difficulty, trial, trouble, problem, pain, whatever it is. Because yes, there is some weeping, and weeping may endure for a little while, for the night, but joy comes in the morning. It reminds me of a phrase that's used over and over in the Old Testament, especially with the life of Israel when they're traveling from Egypt into the Promised Land, and it says, "This too shall pass." And I remember as a young man hearing that said so many times by my mom, "This too shall pass, this too shall pass." While it may be difficult right now, while you're going through a problem right now, it will pass. You will get through it. You will survive it. And I used to think, yeah, this will pass, maybe like a kidney stone or something like that. But it's painful, but weeping does happen, and it does endure just for a night. But we can be sure as a believer, a child of the one true King, that joy comes in the morning. I hope that encourages you today. I hope it encourages you to get into the Word and to study and to read and to draw closer and pray and talk to God. And until tomorrow, God bless you and have a great day.